liking is the freedom you have. It's time to get back to grinding. All right, boys, first thing I do is wake up at 12, hop in the shower, get some food.
What time are you gonna start gaming now?
Probably in like 10 minutes that I do. This helps with like AR aim. I hop in creative, warm up my builds, and then scrim for the rest of the day.
You live streaming?
I was a skateboarder. I skateboarded every day. My brother, he taught me how to skateboard when I was young.
I guess he thought it was cool because I was doing it, and I would take him to all the different skate parks I would go to.
So I was 13 years old, skateboarding at Woodward Skate Camp, and the first day I was there, I ended up breaking my femur, which I then had to go get a cast. I was in the cast for about a year.
It was a long road back for Danny. He was stuck inside. I had to do something, so he made him very comfortable and got him a good setup for gaming.
That's how I fell in love with gaming, because that's the only thing I could do.
I really never got him back on a skateboard after that, and he kind of found who he was. He really just blew up overnight.
If I hadn't broken my leg, I would not be where I'm at right now. I'm a professional Fortnite player.
Oh my, you fixed it up!
Wow. Solos is my strong point.
No, last sign,
Okay,
yeah.
heart's racing right now.
You can dominate by going for picks or playing for high ground. The first time I qualified for the World Cup, it was crazy. People were shocked at what I had just done.
He was not with an organization. They were thinking, who is this guy? He's got to be cheating. Nobody knows who he is. He was on a mission to prove them wrong.
Dub said, look, I've qualified. I'm just going to come back and just flex on literally the entire region.
To prove them all wrong, I qualified 4 times for solos and once for duos and joined FaZe Clan.
Dub's consistently good.
I play with so much confidence. I just love the game so much that I just want to put every minute into grinding, so I can be the best player I can be.
That, honestly, in retrospective, I know it was stressful when it happened, but it has to be the biggest compliment that you are quite literally...
Oh yeah, Tyler, those llamas aren't real.
...side, 5th overall with the solo placing.
Stuff next
to
one.
The entire community thinks you're cheating. That you are that
Oh no,
much
they're
better,
not
that
real.
everyone's there. There's no way, and you saw it there. Him and Mega had one of the most ridiculous performances, racking up close to 50 points in their last 2 matches to qualify. And I mean, it was nuts, ball, but now time to get into the next round.
Yeah, let's go ahead forward. The first pair is XXM and Mende out of China, SSK7 and Jamside, and then finally Volks and Parpy on the right there.
Wait, Benji Fishy and
XXM
Mongrel
and
were
Men
not.
were the only Chinese team to qualify through
Yeah.
the open track, and then Airwalks and Nikov, and then Hunter and
Yeah.
Keemstar. The Solari brothers, the group qualifying all within the same week, and Airwalks taking his repeat Pro-Am title yesterday with RL Grime saying it was easy claps, 12 points clear of the South Korean duo, and then Lenook and Quinton just recently being signed to Navi,
It's not.
representing them on the stage, looking to make a name for themselves, and they're hyper aggressive.
One of the
Yeah.
duos I think a lot of people need to look out for, though, is SSK7 and Jamside, known for their aggressive style of play, always fighting for high ground earlier than most people, and then not giving it up. Nobody is going to be able to contest them off high ground. They get tons of eliminations because of it, but we'll see if that might bite them here today.
And you talk about insanely aggressive. Most people, you need to tag them and see shields broken or maybe white damage to go after them. Volks and Parpy, if you move and they see a pixel, they're going, they raise all kinds of chaos in NA East when playing in the Trios tournament, and now we're going to get a chance to talk to the aggressive Oceania duo down on the floor. Jordan, what do you have for us?
I've got Barbie and Volks here, two of the most astonishing talents out of Oceania. You guys are coming all the way over from not only Australia, but New Zealand, facing off against some of the best talent, not only from your region, but the rest of the world. We've seen that there are different play styles from kind of everywhere. We all know this, but going into this, how do you prepare? How does one prepare up against these play styles?
I just eat a fruit salad.
I will.
Just have a shower.
I will when that. Still arguing.
Have a fruit salad and then just try to get hyped.
Love it, regardless of the region. That's great. Fruit salad. You can take care of NA East and EU and everybody. Now, the most astonishing thing here is this record, this elim record of 102 that you guys had, the single most elims in 1 week. I don't think anybody would expect for either of you guys to be super W key today because of what you're up against. But what is your strategy going into this?
Just play slow and just hopefully make it to end game and just get high. That's basically it.
Beautiful. Well, we're going to see it here very soon. We can't wait.
I'm disappointed that routine of 2 fruit salads in the morning isn't going to give them the confidence to continue what we know and love about them, the W key mentality.
I honestly thought he was just going to turn and look at Jordan and be like, a W key, holding forward the whole time, but they know when to play intelligently and play for height. Let's get into our next group. Again, is qualifiers from NA East and NA West. We have Tetra and Eclipse, Ronaldo and Zip, Sean and Aiden and Rote, DW and Blue Team. Now, I want to give a quick shout out to Eclipse in particular. I've hopped into his backpack a number of times personally when we had to do some tests, and they had a phenomenal qualifying week. And then Ronaldo and Zip averaging some of the highest placements in the week they played. They popped off at TwitchCon, came out of nowhere where people were like, who are you guys qualifying through in the
Oh no.
going to look to make a run at it here today.
And then what more can you say about Sean and Aiden?
Alright, we're back a
This is a duo
second.
that we've seen time and time again.
Joking.
West that week, then they came out of, they clutched up and did amazing things. Both of them took part of our Pro-Am tourney yesterday.
And then Rohit, DW, and Blue Team, one of my personal favorite duos. They came together after week 4 saying, hey, we need to do something different. Rohit came onto the scene during the Winter Royale, qualified through the open format, and looks to punish people's mistakes at all points of the game. You talk about hyper-aggressive players early, you can't stop him from going, but the one person who does is Blue Team, known for his calm decision-making, kind of turning off all emotions and just making the right decisions. They have a fantastic pair and chemistry, and I mean, I'm excited to hear what they had to say leading into the competition. It's going to be just absolutely amazing.
Fantastic. We've got Blue T and Rote DW here, two beyond incredibly mechanically gifted players here. Blue T, you've placed consistently in the top 15 over the last year from the Winter Royale qualifiers, the Secret Skirmish, and top 5 in the Share the Love.
Give this guy a bunch of call-outs, make sure he's safe and alive, and once we hit late game, he's just gonna slay out.
Slay out away. We can't
Wait,
wait.
what?
It's going to be so incredible.
I'm back in a minute.
They can make that dynamic work on the stage. They have such great teamwork, and they have distinct play styles over the face of the game, and if they can get rolling, they might be able to challenge towards that top. Now on to our next group, because we're excited to keep the introductions rolling. It's Item and Derox, Oslo and Bad Sniper, 4ZR and Noword, Red Rush and Snappy, and then Yu Wang and KBB. This is a bunch of guys out of Europe, and then the Chinese qualifiers coming out of the Tencent track. And I mean, some of these guys are incredibly skilled. Item and Derox with that ridiculous 41 elimination victory royale during the semifinals, and then they carried over the performance into the Sunday.
Yeah, one of the only times we saw actually consistency from the semifinals carry over into the finals. But another team that actually started breaking through in the finals towards the end, which led them to qualify, is Oslo and Bad Sniper. And I think something very interesting about this group, or this duo in particular, they're going to be contesting at Tilted Towers, and they are very proficient at doing so.
They will be in the fray, and if Bad Sniper gets a sniper in his hands, here's a joke. His name online is actually not Bad Sniper because he hits all of those shots. Will be looking to make them pay. Now, 4ZR and Nord, also another very aggressive pair, but kind of just like to chill out at times. They like find themselves on the edge, take the rifles. If they know they have an advantage, they go. We've seen them before as well in the Winter Royale.
Yeah. And then on the bottom right there, Yu Wang and KBB, they came out of the Tencent track, which was a competition that was hosted out in China. And so I think a lot of people didn't see those games and don't really know what these two are all about. Let's continue and find out more about them.
心情的话，非常亢奋吧，就可以跟各国的选手切磋。如果想跟一个队来对抗的话，我更希望是跟芒果那队。
要对游戏的喜欢，对吧？然后对游戏的理解，
还要有一个信仰，就是想成为冠军的一种念头。毕竟职业就是要奔着冠军去。
喜欢这款游戏，然后对游戏的理解程度，然后对自己的技术非常的自信。
心情就感觉跟做梦一样，但这一切都是靠自己努力得来的，就非常的好。冠军等着我们！
So happy to see their level of excitement and to be here representing China through those Tencent track. It was amazing to watch them play in those games. A distinct different style, but also very built-in rifle-centric. Will be
Shut up.
These teams representing, and now into our last section of qualifiers. These were the guys who ended up qualifying in the final week, the last chance to be there. It's Slacks and Keys, Calculator and Macwood, Zone and King, Epic Whale and 4DR Storm, and then Vinny and Zexro. And I mean, so many of these guys we could talk about right now, but the one I want to focus on, King and Zone, coming out of Argentina. They are ridiculously aggressive, know how to go full send, and I think people will be surprised. They're able to execute on a level where if they get rolling, it's going to be very hard to stop them.
It's one of the same situations as the kind of Chinese duo, at least at smaller extents, because a lot of these guys don't know how they play, don't know how to respond when the play style that they haven't gone up against is shown. But one duo I want to talk about is Epic Whale and Storm, because this is one of the few fully qualified duos. We'll see both of them tomorrow, and what a way to do it, because they came together at the last second as well.
They came together in the final week knowing it was their last opportunity, and they wanted to be there. They wanted 2 seats on the stage in each one of the competitions that really separated themselves. But speaking of somebody who separated themselves, Zexro and Vinny. Zexro, the original pioneer of the My Wall now. I'm going at you. I will win the game with 16+ eliminations, and there's nothing you can do about it. Him and Vinny broke through everything, coming over not only Zexro's wrist issues, but a little bit of kind of turbulence between them. They're actually not even going to be doing after this competition, so this will be a last hurrah, and let's see what Zexro and Vinny have to say.
We've got Vinny and Zexro here. Very excited to see you guys. I know that a lot of people are thrilled and excited to see what you guys have planned for today. You both have been competing both very well in duos and solos over the course of the year. How do you think that the competition today is going to compare to the rest of the competitions that you've had leading up to the scrims, whatever the case may be?
For sure, the competition's definitely going to be hard today. Probably the hardest competition yet, but I'm very confident for us to succeed today. So
awesome. Well, we believe in you guys. Now, for some tendonitis, preparing for a competition like this, especially at such a high caliber, there's got to be a lot of stress involved with that. How have you been physically preparing for today?
So basically, I didn't really play much, and then I would just VOD review and everything. I would just play on the qualifier days, take a lot of a leave, you know, and then it started going away at the end, and then qualified, so we're chilling.
Fantastic. Well, we're all really excited to see you guys. I know that a lot of people are, a lot of TSM fans here and all over the world. It's going to be a great day.
There you have it. It's proof that it's not all about just grinding and playing all the way through. You got to do your VOD review. You got to take care of your body, get those wrist stretches in. That's Zexro's story there. We'll see how they perform today. We've got one final group of duos to let on the floor. It's going to be Serpent and Hype, Wolfies and Rojo, Skite and Vato, Four Winds and Tux, Kluja and Thomas HT, and then finally Puzz and Ming.
I mean, there's so many players in here you can call out. Serpent and Hype with the original. Can you translate it to something?
Yeah, but whoa.
So many of those semifinals, and in the last week, we're able to do it. I got an opportunity to actually talk with Rojo in the practice room, and he says he's excited to be here, wants to play, wants to get on the stage, and knows he'll be able to enact their game plan. He wouldn't tell me what it was, and I wouldn't leak it anyway. Though the stream duo, kind of a little bit of parity there between Vinny and Zexro. Skype battling a ton of wrist issues and then able to overcome it. And I got to speak with him as well, and he's like, I'm just happy. I'm glad I'm here, man. And there was a fantastic post he did about it.
Yeah, he had that twit longer where he basically went through how he lost his confidence because of his wrist issue and then gained it back because of the support of all you guys at home who supported Skype through his journey. The French community doing so as well. Moving on forward, Borwin and Tux, somebody I think is very interesting because they qualified and moved through the entire, they switched duos at the last second, so same thing.
And then you have Plusha, a player who qualified as well for the solo competition, and Thomas, his partner from Singularity. And the final duo, Puz and Ming, representing from South Korea. Unfortunately, there was an Asian team who was unable to make it. Puz and Ming having won in the Week 8 qualifier where there wasn't an additional spot. And on top of that, their consistent placements earned them that alternate spot coming out of the regions. We had an opportunity to talk with them and have a package set up, and let's see what they had to say.
저는 밍이라고 하고 이제 아시아에서 진출하였습니다. 저는 퍼즈라고 하고 아시아에서 진출한 사람입니다. 가장 좋은 성적을 내서 대체 선수로 뽑혀서 왔더니 이제 아시아에서 듀오 한 팀이 진출을 못해서 저희가 이제 좋은 기회를 얻게 되어서 이렇게 진출하게 되었어요. 온라인에서 상금을 이렇게 받으면서 같이 경쟁하는 게 마음에 들었어요. 유럽 선수들과 해보고 싶었어요. 게임하기 전에 이제 계속 어떻게 게임을 플레이할지 생각을 하고 하는 거죠. 그냥 연습을 최대한 시간에 맞게 활용을 하고 최대한 많이 노력을 하다 보면
I mean, I can only imagine what is going through their heads. First, taking the top spot in a week where there wasn't a qualification spot, and then having one of the most consistently best placements, then being chosen as an alternate, and finding out you were going to be competing, having a chance to represent Asia and South Korea here. And they are very good. They're known for playing aggressively, trying to find a side of a zone, box themselves up, and get some shots towards the side of the rotation. If they can get that position, don't expect them to not be dangerous, because they will make some waves, and that's the competition. Those are all the players. Those are the 100 best Fortnite players in the world, the 50 best duos. And now there's a duo in particular. We talked about it. The loudest duo when they're announced. They will be the loudest duo when all is said and done. We have Mitro.
You do realise I'm live streaming and I can hear everything you say.
We are all so excited to see these two play and honestly to hear their comms. That's one of my favorite things when I watch these guys play. Now, competing online and competing at a LAN is two very, very different things, obviously. What is the preparation like going into competing at a LAN together?
Competing at LAN is definitely different. Personally, I like it more
yeah.
I like the environment, but online is easier, but I don't know, I just like LAN more.
Fair. You can't beat the energy in a stadium like this. A lot of people are really excited and stoked to be here, and especially to see you guys play. We can't wait.
Thank you so much, Jordan. And now just those guys, they sound excited, but that's it. Enough from us talking. The 50 best duos in the world are on the stage competing for their share of $15 million ball. And I mean, 6 games away from winning $3 million to the top duo.
Just think about that. 6 games, and then we'll find out who is the best duo in the world. Hands down, no question about it, the best. 6 games. We're going to do that real soon.
Duos World Champions will be crowned, but that's it. The pre-show is over. Enough from us up here. We'll be breaking down gameplay later. We're going to toss it on inside to kick the show off. You guys have a good one.
I know. I have no clue.
Ladies and gentlemen, it all comes down to this.
Oh no.
Okay, I'm gonna lose my freaking voice.
It's amazing. It's like you feel so free. It's ridiculous. And then we just kind of watched like our names pop up on the screen. It was pretty sweet.
It was a huge sigh of relief. All the hard work we did just finally paid off. We were kind of going nuts.
He finds the zone. He has to go forward though, because there's a change in elevation. He finds the first, he finds the second, and he does! He left! That is why he's a World Cup qualifier! This is it right here, the 1v1! Who is the other player that's He takes what? Damage to himself, and all of a sudden it's complete chaos. What a win! Victory Royale! GG!
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Fortnite World Cup Finals live from my hometown, baby, New York City. Where you at? Where you at? That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. This is it, people. The moment that we've been waiting for. 10.
Froze on me. For fuck's sake. Fortnite just froze on me.